Hey Houston, it's Dinko, the realtor. The greater Houston area has almost lost all of its 2022 pricing gains, meaning that frenzy that happened from January to May, all of that equity is almost gone. And a key player in the mortgage industry, Wells Fargo, one of the biggest lenders, has backed out. They said, hey, we no longer want anything to do with the mortgage industry and we're stepping out. So I'm going to share details in these two categories. That way you have information of what's going on here in 2023 and have the financial information to know when to pull the trigger, when to buy. That way you have that information so your family is better off financially. Now, if we take a look here, in May, we see that the median price hit $351,000, and that was a gain of 16% year over year. In June, that's the peak. We see here that $355,000 was the median home sold, and it was a 13% year over year gain. And the reason it's a smaller gain is June of 2021 had higher prices than May of 2021. So it was still a double-digit year-over-year pricing gain, but it was just a tad bit less than in May. And Houston was one of the last metro markets to kind of take off, where a lot of the markets were getting the bidding wars January and February. Really, that crazy frenzy didn't really start happening until about April in the greater Houston area. And these markets that had the frenzy happening in January of 2021, those markets are already negative year over year. They've already lost all of their 2021 or 2022 gains. Houston, as we take a look here, so the greater Houston area has almost lost all of its 2022 pricing gains. We see that year over year for December is only a 3.8% gain, and the median price is $330,000 versus what it was in June of $335,000. That means that somebody who bought during the peak in 2022 or around it is already $20,000 to $30,000 underwater. Now, let's say they did a 5% down payment, 10% down payment, just maybe they have some equity in the home. Well, to get a home sold, there are realtor fees, title fees. So when you try to sell that house, you actually need to have equity in it so that you're actually able to sell it or bring money from the bank account or from stocks or from wherever to be able to get out of the home. So we see here that the peak of the market was $355,000 and now it's $330,000. I don't know how people are saying the prices aren't going down. They definitely are. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you're up to date of what's going on in the national as well as the greater Houston area market. That way you know when to pull the trigger. My team and I, we love helping people here in the greater Houston area. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call, send me a text. And the Wells Fargo stuff is what I really want to share here. Take a look at this. Wells Fargo, once the number one player in the mortgage industry, is stepping back from the housing market. I mean, they're saying, hey, we no longer want anything to do with this. We don't want mortgages. We don't want to play this game anymore because we don't think it's going to be a good outcome. Check this out now. We are making the decision to continue to reduce risk in the mortgage business industry by reducing its size. I mean, they're literally saying they want to reduce risk. People are saying all these buyers are going to come out the woods. Everybody's going to start buying houses and it's going to be multiple offers. Well, the builders aren't feeling confident. The banks aren't feeling confident. So where are these buyers going to come from? It's not like there was no houses being sold during the pandemic. The pandemic time frame had more houses sold than any other time in history. People were buying houses. It's not like instead of selling hundreds of thousands or millions of houses across the nation, it was only 200,000 homes nationwide that sold, and all of a sudden there's just bent up buyer demand. Well, there's also sellers that wanted to sell, but they put off retirement. They were scared to sell. So there's a seller demand out there as well. So keep that in mind. Now, I also want to show this here, what's going on. So we've done this some of the other videos. Let's take a look at the actives. So we have the actives here. Let's take a look at Houston first. And that way you can see for yourself if you think that the market is stabilizing. So let's see how many houses are on the market for over 100 days. Sorry, limit exceeded. Oh, wow. So haven't ran into this issue until, I guess, recently here. So now there's over 5,000 houses just within Houston, within the Houston name. So not Katy, not Cypress, not Sugar House, just Houston. So let's edit this here real quick a little bit. Let's go back to our criteria. Let's put 3 bedrooms plus. Let's see if that'll eliminate and put us. Yep. So that's 4832. Okay, perfect. Now we look at that. 600 days, 500 days, 400 days. Let's go. And this is 100 homes. 100 homes per list. So let's go up 7, which is 700. We're still over 100 days on the market. I mean, let's go to 1,300. So that's 1,300 homes. Look at that. There's almost 1,300 homes that are on the market for 100 days. So out of the 4,800 homes, there's about 1,000 of them. About 1,000 of them. That's almost about 20% that are 100 plus days, 200 plus days. I mean, we saw that. So let's take a look at some other stuff and see what's going on in the different suburbs. So let's go to Sugarland here. So here we go. We go to Sugarland. So there's 224 houses that are listed. And boom, 300, 200, 100, 100, 100, 100. Wow, look at that. So there's probably about 70. So out of those, what was it, 224 homes, there's about 70 of them. So again, I mean, if it's 70, you're going to be at like 30%. So let's say if there was a little bit less. So again, you're looking at about 15, 20, maybe a little bit more than that of the homes that are up for sale. And keep this in mind. We're saying that they're 100 plus days. Well, these are 80, 70. Look at all these price declines right here. Decline. I mean, they're just slashing prices. I mean, even, I guess we don't have any there, but look at that. Even these that are 40 days, 30 days, we're seeing them bringing down prices. Let's go to Katy. So we're going to type in Katy here. Look at the results. There's over 1,000 houses in Katy. Look at that. 200 days, 100 days. So we're going to have more. If it's 20%, we're going to have more. We should have at least like 200 or 300 because that's what it was showing. So if we go into the 300 phase, we see then it starts dropping. So there's probably about 250. So again, the Katy area has about 20+% of the homes that are 100 days plus. And again, look at this. Look at all these price drops, and they're not selling. 90 days, right? We go 600 homes in, we're still at 50 days. Look at these price drops. I mean, you know, do you think that the market is stabilizing? Let's go to Cyprus. So this will be the last one. There's 663. So percentage wise, I guess it should stop somewhere in the twos, right? So yep, there we go. So 200 homes almost. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 195 homes are 100 plus days active in Cyprus. And then again, look at all these price drops. And if we go 400 homes in, we're still 60 days. Look at all these price drops, 50 days, 40 days, price drops. It doesn't look like the data's saying that the market is stabilizing. So we have to pay attention to what's going on in the market. We have to pay attention to things, what the builders are saying. They're not confident. Wells Fargo saying, hey, we no longer want any part of this. We're just stepping out of the mortgage industry. Good luck to y'all. We're going to try to sell them. And the other thing is this is the part that we have to pay attention to as well. So third-party loans. Wells Fargo is one of the biggest servicers. That means that they actually hold on to the loans or they buy them. ABC Lending gives somebody a loan and then they sell that loan in the secondary market so they can go and issue more and more loans. They essentially just flip loans and that's how they make money. They don't service them. Wells Fargo is the nation's biggest servicer. 42% of the $21 billion in loans originated in the third quarter were correspondent loans. Well, they're shutting that off. They're no longer wanting to buy these loans. So now ABC Lending is going to have to sell this to somebody else to service the loans. I mean, that's pretty big right there. The sale of mortgage servicing rights to other industry players will take at least several quarters to complete depending on market conditions. So they're trying to get rid of the ones that they're servicing right now. They're not going to get rid of everything, and they're still going to issue loans to people that have bank accounts with them. But why would they back out and start selling everything off if they thought that the buyers would just come out of the woods? There would be multiple offers on everything. So we definitely got to pay attention to the information that's going on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified when new videos drop. That way you're up to date here in the greater Houston area marketplace. So you know when to purchase a home. That way you have the financial information to make that decision for you and your family.